There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction.
Voices of virtue.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Voices of Virtue. I am so excited to have you all here with us on today. We thank you so much. We say that, and we say that from our whole heart, mind, body, spirit, soul, and being. We thank you. We don't take it for granted that you giving us your time to tune in with us. And with that being said, we want you to invite others, your friends, your families, your co-workers, church members, anyone that you fellowship with. Invite them. And guess what? Y'all, we got an exciting topic. We're not excluding the married ones. You can tune into. But today, we are talking to the singles. Any singles in the house? 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 We are talking to you today. Because guess what? I myself am single. So guess what? I'm talking from what I tell my own self. Okay? Remember, charity begins at home. Okay? With all that being said, we are Voices of Virtue coming down from the middle of the boot in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And we thank you. Relax, grab you some coffee, tea, juice, and we're going to have some fun. Enjoy each other. And check back with us. Look, get on all the social media platforms and locate us, follow us, and join us. Share us. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. So we're going to talk about being single, selective, and not settling. I think I'm going to say that one more time. Because I want y'all to let that settle in your spirit. We're going to talk about being single, selective, and not settling. Because you see, what I have seen, so many of us as single, and I'm not just talking about single ladies, okay, gentlemen? We're talking singles overall. We think because we're single that we have to have somebody. No, let's get that clear first. You don't have to have nobody. Long as you love yourself, that's enough. And you got God in your heart loving you, which he always will, never will. He will love us more than we love ourselves. That's first and foremost. So once you got that, I bet you your heart is filled with joy. You got to first love yourself. You can't go out there looking for love, looking for friendship, romance in the wrong places. It will bring you to wrong places, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be single, be selective, and don't settle. What you talking about there, Cheryl? I'm going to help all of us out today. Well, first of all, in being single, most of the times, those counterfeits going to come first, okay? They going to say what you want to hear. They going to do what you think needs to be done. And they going to look like what you want it to look like. Notice I say what you want it to look like. We're talking about the counterfeit. We're not talking about whom God has set aside for you, okay? So be careful. Because one thing that I've learned, men love what they see. Women love what they hear. And being ladies, we know how men, they can really talk the talk. Make it sound so good. It could be a bum off the street. And when I say bum off the street, I'm not labeling him and judging him. What I'm saying is someone that's off the street, that they're not working, not driving a fancy car, what we call it, and all this and that. But then you look at him over here with his whatever kind of car, whatever you want to name it, BMW, whatever. His Rolex or and all that, you want to call him whatever, and him. And this one right here, he can probably treat you better than this one right here with all the stuff. Okay? That can happen. It really can. Because you don't know who God is sending your way, who God is preparing for you. Okay? Okay? I have seen it happen. I have seen God can use anybody. We know the word. He made donkey talk. So he can use anybody to do anything that he wants to do. He can come down, he got the power, but he don't. He uses his people. So I tell you, do not settle. Do not settle. Know your value. Just because you're single. And let me tell you this too. Let me tell you this, single ladies. Don't go out there looking for a man who supposedly already got it all. No. Because the times have changed with men. Nowadays, men want a woman that's already established as well. They're not looking for someone that they got to carry their baggage. No, it's not fair. It's not fair to them. No, yes, God made them to be the provider. Yes, the head. Yes, that's true. But we're not to go after a man for what he has. No, don't have that mentality. No, don't do that. Don't treat yourself like you are a prostitute. Don't do that. Because it's not you. God, you are the apple of God's eye. God made you as a queen. Okay? And treat yourself as such. Don't go out and think you got to go and fix yourself up like some hoochie mama or whatever, showing all your flesh. You let that man, let a man imagine. Don't go and advertise it. Advertising. You know why they put up advertising? You know what, on the billboards? You know why they do that? They do that to draw attention. They do that to make sales, to pull people in. So when you're out there showing your flesh because you're single, well, we got some married ones do that too, so we'll lay that to the side. We ain't talking about that right now. But don't go out there with the free advertising. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Make yourself presentable. Keep yourself, whereas men, when they look at you, because let me tell you this. And I think I may have said this before. I'm not sure, but just in case someone who didn't hear it before, men pay attention to women. They do. They pay attention to things what you don't least expect. Okay? They pay attention to the hair, the nails, the feet, the least you expect. Okay? And the fakeness. And so I'm not knocking nothing that's fake, because guess what? I have many, many bad hair days. And do they put on a wig? Do they get a hair crochet? I sure do. But I saw an episode once where they asked this whole segment of men, what do they prefer with women? And I promise you, about 90% of them said they'd rather a lady with their natural beings, their natural hair, their natural everything. They don't really like all the fakeness. And when you look at that thing, spirit and natural runs parallel. When you look at something, you want it to be real. You want it to be authentic. Because when something is fake, it's not real. So it's like you're walking into a relationship false. It's not really you. You go and present yourself like you're this, but really you're that. So it's false evidence. That's what fear is. False evidence appearing real. So now you're walking in fear that a man can't accept you for who you are. Guess what? Let me help you out, my sisters, because I love you like that. And brothers, I love you too. If a person can't accept you for who you are, you don't need them. You don't need them. Okay? Know your identity. Accept who you are. God made you unique. He made you in his image. Okay? So don't go and try to be something that they want you to be. Be who God called you to be. Okay? And what you need to do is go Dress yourself up. Don't do it for nobody else. Make yourself beautiful. This is what I've told many ladies. And some of them come and you know, want to talk or whatever, and they'll say, well, how this relationship didn't work out, that didn't work out. This, you know what? I've learned this from myself since I have been single. I bless the Lord. I thank the Lord. I really praise the Lord when a relationship didn't work out. God was helping me out. Yeah, he's helping us out. I promise you. The few times when I did try dating after, you know, the divorce and all this and that, and it worked out for maybe 2 weeks or whatever, I promise you, if it wasn't whom God called, bam, it was gone. Did I get upset? At first I ain't understand, like, oh, what's up? Okay. But then I got to thinking and praying, talking to him about, you know what? God, I thank you. Because you shut it down before it got to a place where it could have been a mistake. Okay? So when something don't work out, don't you get upset about it. You better bless the Lord. I remember my former first lady, she said, when something doesn't happen, it's not that God couldn't do it, it's because he got something better. He always, because he can do exceedingly, abundantly, above all than what we can ask or think. Okay? So you bless the Lord when something don't work out. And guess what? Just because of what you see right now, that's not predicting what God got for you in the future. You just walk in obedience and upright the best you can and let God do the rest. Let him do the rest. And don't you dare let nobody judge you and who you should date, who you should talk to. Because guess what? Nobody knows your journey that God has destined for you. They can't walk your divine. They can't. It's only been ordained for you. So don't you go out there settling just because he happens to be that 6'2", what you've always wanted. He happens to be driving that whatever car. He happens to be living in whatever area. Or he happens to be working in whatever place and you always wanted that job there. No, don't settle for that. No. You get it God's way. Because you see, the blessing of the Lord make it rich and add no sorrow. Because see, a lot of times, some men and some women, because see, it's like these days, you got more women out there doing it worse than the men. They just want to lay. Sometimes women wonder why they done talked or dated, whatever you want to call it, with a man forever and forever. And then before you know it, he done end up marrying somebody else. Bam, you did it to your own self. Why? Because you settled. You done gave him all the cookies, all the goodies, all the sweets for free. For free. That's what I said. He ain't had to work for nothing. He came home and got all the goodies. You done cooked and laid out everything for him, and he gone back home to mama. Because nowadays a lot of them always married and then giving them lies about, oh, I'm a divorce, so we having it so bad and da-da-da-da-da-da. And ain't no divorce papers nowhere. Oh, yeah, I filed for the paper, just ain't came in yet. Show me the papers. Quit settling. Because God ain't going to never bless no mess. How you know, Cheryl? Because I've been there, done that. Because when I first started dating, after I went through what I went through, I wasn't legally divorced. But I had the mentality of, well, he doing it. He seems so. God said, but you're still married. You can't do that. You can't do what he's doing. So I had to. Okay. Couldn't do it. I love me. And I know you love you. So you be selective. You don't have to accept anything that comes your way. No, you do not. And let me say this right here. And I'm not being picky on nobody, but I'm speaking from a perspective of what I've gone through, what I have witnessed. You ladies that are married to these men of God, I ain't gonna just say preachers, pastors, teachers, prophet, whatever. I'm speaking to anybody. Just because they got some moolah, you think you got to hang on to, they treat you like a dog. And I'm talking about to you women too that are mistreating these men, because they got some good men out there. Some good men. And y'all want to treat them bad. They're out there working hard, and you bringing Tom and Jerry in their home. The devil is a liar. Because guess what? What's not revealed will be exposed. And you better stop it before God expose you. Yes, I'm talking to you because I love you. I love you. Be who God called you to be. He has a divine destiny appointed for you. But it's up to you to walk the path. It's up to you to take the journey. It's up to you to obey his voice. It's up to you to do what he says do. I don't care how bad that flesh falls. You think this flesh done failed many times. Many. But I have to bring it under subjection. So I tell you, beautiful queens, handsome kings, know who you are, know your identity. Don't think that because you were hurt in the past, everyone else is going, that God sends your way is going to hurt you. No, it's not that way. Yes, protect your heart. I was told by a man of God a long time ago, keep your heart covered. Don't expect to get love back the way you give it. And I've learned that, and I walked in it, and I always remember that. But don't make your heart a heart of stone, thinking that because that person hurt you, the next one will. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I had a man tell me that he apparently, just like we can discern as being women, men discern as well. God give us all gifts. And he looked at me one day. He said, "Why do you think?" And this is where I learned this from. He said, "Why do you think every man is going to hurt you? Every man is not your ex. Every man is." That's how he told it to me. He said, "Every man is not going to hurt you." He said, "You got yourself in a box." He said, "Free yourself. Don't be like that." And another thing, let me help you sisters out. No, can't be by. Help you sisters and brothers out. When you've been in a relationship and now that you're single, or if you've never been in a relationship and you're still single, there's one word I have taken out of my vocabulary in dealing with a relationship, because I learned this when I was in a relationship for 2 years after my marriage. And this gentleman taught me something. I was hurt so bad until I was always assuming things. Okay? So you cannot go in a relationship assuming things. Just because he didn't come home the exact same time he came home, or he didn't call you the same time he usually call you, don't assume he's with another woman. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't assume that because he is wearing a different kind of a cologne that you never smelled before, or smell a different kind of, don't assume. Don't do it. Ask questions. The most important thing we have in a relationship is communication. It's not a curse. Communication is vital. Communication, I call it security for a relationship. It's not going to hurt it. Not talking, not communicating can hurt it. So remember that. Do not assume things when you're in a relationship. Don't go talking to Sue and Joe and asking them questions. You ask your mate. You ask that friend. Now, if they lie, guess what? That's between them and God. Because guess what? The truth will be revealed. Trust that. Trust that. You don't have to go and be sneaking around and looking in phones and cell phones. No. Because first of all, this is what I say. If you love me enough to trust me. Okay? So when you're single and you're anticipating a relationship to potentially maybe fall in love, for that to be your mate or whatever, go in it the right way with honesty, loyalty. Have an open communication. Be there for one another. Don't be selfish with it. Ask that partner, what do you like? Don't just be selfish just because you don't know nothing. If he likes football and you, I don't like no football. Well, guess what? Don't you think it'd be nice if you sit down with him and watch the game with it. Maybe you can learn something. Even if you call out the wrong thing of the game, like I have done before. It was a football game, and I'm calling out a baseball terminology. Well, at least I was there supporting. But it was for my son. Yeah, it wasn't no date or nothing. It was for my son. But that's what I'm saying is, be in a relationship. Y'all do things together that you each enjoy. If you like playing tennis, guess what? Take him on a tennis match and play. Let him play with you. He'll enjoy it. Yeah. You never know until you do it. Don't be sitting like frogs on a log. No, that's how the enemy can creep in. No. And then, yeah. I can hear some of y'all back there probably saying, how could she tell me something? She was divorced. She didn't keep her own husband. Guess what? I have no control over his flesh stepping out, wanting to commit adultery. Now check that right there. I have no control of that. None. What I have done, I opened up my mouth and said, if there's anything that I need to do that I'm not knowing, when for example, he worked out. See, I'm coming to you from home. That's why it's real. When voices of virtue, I'll drive to you. I'll come to you. Do what I need to do. Now it's not my fault if the party decides to go about their own way of doing things. All I can do is put it out there. See, God is never a rapist, and I learned that from my ex. That was a nugget. He always said God is not a rapist. So I can't force a person to do what they don't want to do. I open the door. I communicate it. So it's not on me. Okay? So you keep that door open in your relationship. Keep it open for the communication. Know their likes. Know their dislikes. Because you may have been doing something in a previous relationship that this partner is totally against. So you can't bring that home. You can't do that. You're opening up the doors for destruction. And I dare you not. Do not compare. Do not compare your mate to another mate. You can't do that. Don't compare. God made us each unique and in his own way for our own ways. Okay? So love that person for who they are. Don't try to change them. We can't change nobody. Accept them for who they are. All we can do is pray. And if they won't change has to come from within them. We can't change a person, because when we go try to change a person, guess what? They're not being delivered. They're not being set free. That has to come from self. So I plead you, I decree unto you, I beg of you, when you're single, be selective. Don't be desperate. Because some of us out there like we are desperate to have a man, to have a woman. No. There's a song, I'm happy with Jesus. Yeah, be happy. But most of all, have your joy. Because see, when you have your joy, can't nobody take that from you. Because one thing, and I'm going to tell you this. When you do start to bring somebody into your life, you're talking, you're dating or whatever, don't you dare allow that person to think you can't live without them, can't be without them. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. You weren't born here with him, were you? You don't give that no man, no woman, that kind of leverage over your life, over your heart. No, don't do it. How you know, Cheryl? You know what that brings you to? That brings you to a point of life of loving man more than God. How you know, Cheryl? Been there, done that. Bought the life of it. And I was corrected. Because that's when he will then allow man to fall. When I say man, I'm not just talking about a male. I'm talking about male or female. He will allow them to fall. Okay? So we got to be careful in doing that. Keep him first. Keeping God preeminent. Keeping him first in whatever we do. In the mates we choose. Which we as females, we don't go out choosing no way. We let them find us. And I'll say this as we close. We always quote the scripture. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. But what we fail to always remember as a female, the other clause to that scripture, and he shall obtain favor from the Lord. So guess what? Ladies, remember this. When he finds you, and because he done found you, he now has favor with the Lord just because of you. So you gave favor upon his life. You added to his life because he chose you. So you be that virtuous woman. That voices of virtue, virtuous woman. And that man of valor. And with all that, I'll say to you, know your identity. Walk in authority. Stand in integrity. Because there's no one to be and no one to do a better you. Thank you for tuning in to Voices of Virtue.